Live. I'm assuming I'm live. I don't know if I'm live. It says I'm live. Okay, am I live? Hopefully I am. I sat on my headphones recently, so they're going to be pretty interesting. So here I am. Obviously, you can see me? Yeah. Nope. Apparently my brain can't function enough to make a proper live stream. So I'm just gonna make sure everything's going all right. It says that I'm live, and yes, I am. Okay, good. It's such a delay. It's insane. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I recently did a Kurzgesagt response video to their milk video. And in the spirit of last time where they did a comment on my video, they also did a comment on this video just a few hours ago, which I found to be a little bit entertaining. You know, they said some interesting, funny things about me. I don't think it was that critical of me, and I'm not going to try and make too big of a deal out of it. But the main reason I want to respond is because they did rebut some of my ideas, and in addition, they sort of attacked some of my arguments and kind of attempted to debunk my video. So I'm going to go ahead and go through their comment, which is going to be kind of annoying because it's text, and then I'm going to rebut it. And I already responded with a comment, so it's probably kind of annoying to see that if you've already read it, but I'm going to go for it. So I'm going to shift over here to my other view. Okay, so here is the original video, and I pinned their comment. They actually asked me to pin the comment. They sent me an email to pin the comment, which I thought was pretty interesting. They did that last time as well, and of course I respected their wishes. And so here it is. This is the comment right here. And so as you can see, it's pretty long. They edited it, and I pinned it, and I got kicked out, and I'm not sure if that's because they edited it again or something, but I had to repin it. Either way. And so thank you very much for pinning the comment. Very fair movie. So they did edit it, and I think that took it away. Okay, so as we take criticism very seriously, we took the time to look over yours in detail and want to address it. Now, the thing that sticks out right away is as it goes on, it gets a little bit more critical. For example, down here, they say, oh, this is good. If you watch our meat milk videos carefully, you'll find that we recommend a transition to a more plant-based diet. Okay, blah, blah. Mike, on the other hand, is clearly biased and trying to prove his own agenda. And they even go as far as to say, oh my God, did they edit it out? They might have edited it out. I saved the initial one where they said that I am not civil or honest. They said that I was respectful. They said that I was disrespectful. Maybe I'm on crack and missing it? No. Wow. I'm going to hop into my email. I'm kind of worried about hopping into my email, but yeah, I'm going to do it. Okay, right here, I saved the whole comment, and it says, yes. Okay. We are always open to constructive criticism as long as it's respectful and civil, which we can't say in this case, sadly. So they're saying that no, Mike is not being respectful or civil. So fun stuff here. And it looks like they edited that out, which I thought was interesting because in my response to their email, I said, hey, I was just kind of responding to your points. I wasn't attacking. Hey, I'm not on crack. Someone said maybe I am on crack. It looks like, unless I just didn't read it, it looks like they edited that out because you can see that they edited it. They did edit it after I pinned it. Anyway, so I didn't feel like I attacked them. Obviously, I make a little jokes, I did a little German accent at one point, but I believe that I stuck to the, hey, this are the points that I disagree with. And so let's get into their comment. So I hate reading things, but I'm going to just have to read some of this, and I'm sorry that it's going to be annoying. But in summary, Mike mentioned our claims that match his point of view and pick the parts he wants to argue against, citing studies that support his angle. There are a lot of ones that I didn't argue against just because of time, and there are ones that I've covered so much before that I was just forget about this. It's not that big of a deal. It's not a leading killer or anything, so I'm not going to worry about it. They actually prepared a separate source document. I'm not even going to worry about that right now. Let's go into the main thing. So they summarized my criticisms into 4 main categories, the first of which was cherry picking. Throughout the video, Mike claimed that we are only picking sources indicating that milk is positive. Such a straw man. I said so many times that I liked a lot of their points. They were negative points. So clear. I don't know why they were speaking in such an ultimate statement there. Our source document is 26 pages long, citing more than 40 studies, which we'll get into in a little bit. providing both negative and positive sources. Okay, look right here. This is what I wrote in my thing. They made some good points too. I also mentioned that in the introduction. So it's like, what? Did you not hear all of the times I was like, hey, I think it's great that they said this? I think I said that like 8 or 9 times. There were so many points that I agreed with. Anyway, Mike, on the contrary, doesn't include a single source contradicting his point of view, and thus is not reproducing the current state of science. First of all, my video was a response to theirs. It wasn't my job to just like, oh, let's take a break here and talk about why the calcium in cow's milk is so good. No, my whole video is to point out what they did not show. Obviously, like I've said this before, you can't expect someone, in a court of law to be arguing for both sides. This is why my client is guilty and this is why my client is not. And so I'm arguing a position here which I believe to be true. And so I don't have to argue for this side as well. That's just how it is. He's also distorting our source document. For example, he mentioned that we have one source for claiming meta-analysis found no impact on cancer risk. I don't think I actually did. I just said this is the one under that claim. It's probably semantics. They have a claim and right under it, as you can see right here. This is their source page. For example, right here, I'll just say it can lead to cancer and early death, and then blah, blah, blah. See, they have the source and then the statement. And then it goes on and on and on until the one that I responded to. Man, this is so long and annoying to go through. But okay, some older studies found a connection between milk and breast cancer. And then they talk about this one, and this is the one that I was responding to, which actually said that there was an increased risk of colorectal cancer in there as well. And this one. Yeah, no impact on your risk. They quoted one for this one here, for these cancers, which I was talking about. I said in terms of breast, prostate, and colon, this is the study. They didn't even mention anything about lactose and the ovarian risk one, which isn't even a question to me. Obviously, it's not connected. Anyway, the point is there's little semantic things and there's so much information here that it's easy to get some things wrong. And so sorry if that was unclear. Anyway, misrepresenting the studies. This is one that I thought was especially funny. Says Mike repeatedly said that we are misrepresenting studies or citing studies that don't support your claim. Okay, let me just go down to my comment. This is the quote from the study that they used to say that hormones were bad. Quote, hormones in dairy products could be counted as an important risk factor for various cancers in humans. Obviously, they did misrepresent some studies. Anyway, Mike conveniently forgot to quote the actual conclusion of this study. It's just annoying how there's so much information in a study and there's claims in it, there's quotes in it, and then there's conclusions. And so honestly, this is not the case here that there's so much to read here. Okay, Mike, actually in his own video, Mike does what he accuses us of when citing a huge meta-analysis from 2019. He's quoting only those results that match his claim, not recommending the majority of results which actually contradict him. So I'm pretty sure what they're talking about here is the BMJ article, which I specifically was like, I want to talk about the prostate cancer here because, like I said in like a 3-minute spiel, for something to be a carcinogen, it only has to cause one type of cancer. It's carcinogenic if it causes that type of cancer. So I focused on the meta-analyses on prostate cancer within that review, and half of them showed an association with cancer, positive association. So I don't really see how that was a problem. Anyway, outdated sources. This one's just kind of nitpicking or whatever. It said that I pointed out some outdated source I pointed out that their meta-analysis was 15 years ago, and he forgot to mention that we provide 7 additional meta-analyses from 2017, 2015, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The point is, this is, as he says, I'm using a double standard. His own evidence for his claim about testicular cancer, for example, cites sources. So the only reason I was saying that it was a older one was because they specifically said right there that older studies found a connection. And so they were implying that because it was older, that it was not legitimate. And obviously, I was saying that there are legitimate studies of all years. So the older studies and the newer studies, just because it's a few years older doesn't mean that it is not true. And this is where I actually wanted to make a response video. I know there was a lot of rambling through a lot of quick details there, but this is where it actually is important to me and why I wanted to make a study on this. And that is make a video on this. Number 4, bias. Mike said in our video that our video is clearly biased toward whitewashing milk and calls it worrisome that our conclusions are based solely on industry-funded studies. So first of all, complete straw man. Obviously, I didn't say that their conclusions are based solely on industry-funded studies. Those are not words that came out of my mouth. I highlighted some industry-funded studies that they use. Now, this is where it gets fun. Among more than 40 studies, we included just two that were industry-funded. We don't think that it is fair to summarize this ratio as clearly biased toward industry. It means that 95% of the studies we used were not funded by milk. Okay, so is this actually the case? First of all, as I responded right here, yeah, they cited 40 studies, but so many of them, the vast majority of them, have nothing to do with major health claims. I mean, so many of them, I can just go through here. So many of them start out with just general things about milk, like how much lactose is in there, and for example, what the composition of milk is. I believe that was FAO paper. Here's what, yeah, human milk composition. Yes, that is a study. You can count that toward your total. I'm not disputing that. That doesn't matter. That's a completely different topic than what I have a problem with. And so you can count that toward the ratio of everything that was cited, but not completely legit. I'm just going to check in and make sure everything's all right here. Cool. Okay, it doesn't look like anybody's shouting your audio is off or anything, so things are good. I'm going to keep going. Now, for me, what really matters here is cardiovascular disease for a couple reasons. One, because dairy is the main source of saturated fat, and cardiovascular disease is our number one killer. Counting heart disease alone is our number one killer, but then you add stroke, which is another cardiovascular disease. This is killing a lot of people, and this is what the dairy industry is concerned about, because they are constantly being accused of causing heart disease because of their saturated fat. You know, if you look at the major studies that I quoted and the report to the NHS in the UK, those are all saying get saturated fat out of the diet, keep the recommendations for low saturated fat. It causes heart disease, it raises cholesterol, all of these things. But the point here is that if we're just looking at these super important studies on the claim that they made, by the way, if you don't remember, was essentially that you don't have to worry at all about the saturated fat or about your heart with this. There are quotes on that we can go through in a second. But the point is, when you're looking at their CVD, cardiovascular disease related studies here, they say, first of all, they say that, only a few percent of all of them were, but isolating just those, here are 4 studies that they did on CVD, that they cited on CVD, and 3 out of 4 of them are directly funded by the industry. First of all, that's not 2 already, just on this one topic, we're at 3 industry-funded studies, so clearly their math is wrong. And then the 4th one, 4 out of 4, has an association with the Dutch dairy industry, which is connected to the industry at the very least. And so we have 75% of the studies, 3 out of 4 of them are directly funded on the topic that is the most important here in terms of the health outcome of milk. And so, they can say that they were using all these non-industry funded studies in other areas, but this is what matters. Again, that first one was funded by Nestle, which had a $4 billion ice cream company until recently. And they also have a bunch of other dairy holdings. They're a massive company. The second one, which they used in their Q&A, at least, I should be clear, this was in their Q&A on cholesterol, which they said dairy product does not alter cholesterol in a negative way, used the most industry-funded study probably I've ever seen. It's actually absurd. I'm almost tempted to open it. I know some of you guys saw this already in the original video, but if I scroll down here to the conflicts of interest, dairy. Anyway, they admitted they had some, so that's one of them. And then the last one, which is stroke, again, a cardiovascular disease, funded by an unrestricted grant from the Dutch Dairy Association. And as I mentioned here, it doesn't have to just be funded by the dairy industry. It can also have major ties to industry. And the example I use for that, as Neil Bernard recently said in a Red Pill Vegan interview, he's watching, I think, shout out to Red Pill Vegan. The main author of that study, Bradley Johnston, got a high-paying job, I believe, with AgriLife, which is a major, animal ag company, industry sort of conglomerate. And so, again, those 5 studies on processed meat that he did in the Annals of Internal Medicine with his group Nutrirex claimed no funding at all, as well as no conflicts of interest. And so it's clear that people can be paid in other ways. And that one was so covert, they didn't even mention it. But the 4th one that they have here saying that CBD is not a problem with dairy was again associated by associated with these authors having a unrestricted grant from the Dutch Dairy Association as well. And so the idea here is this one I don't believe was directly funded, but they're basically using career dairy scientists to do this. And so Was there influence by dairy industry? Was there not? If there wasn't, still 3 out of 4 of them were funded when they're talking about CBD. If there was influence, you know, it's important to remember 4 out of 4, 100% of the studies that they quoted here to support that dairy is okay. There were absolutely dairy industry connections. And then the 4th one wasn't CBD related, but it was total mortality, which I think is huge. Again, has someone who was previously awarded a dairy industry grant. So they're connected to the dairy industry. And here's another point that I think was huge, that I think was, you know, they were trying to like hit me where it hurts. I don't know what they really think here. Like, I don't know how offended they really are. They seem just like a little miffed. And anyway, so they go kind of after what they probably view as my my soft spot, which is in the end that we think that opinion pieces covered as objective reviews of science, referring to my video, like Mike is doing them, is causing harm by spreading misinformation. It also furthers the stereotype that veganism is an ideology, that vegans misrepresent science to justify their lifestyle. So basically they're saying that I misrepresented the science here, and of course that I'm, I don't know, contributing to the bad view of veganism in general. And I think I'm just going to read my last response here word for word, because I think it's going to be better than me just trying to redictate it. I said, well, if you are right, in my worst case, I'm making it look like vegans are misrepresenting science. In your worst case, which I implore you to consider, you are putting millions of people at ease to continue eating a product that is a major contributor to our leading cause of death, based almost entirely on industry-funded conclusions. So the biggest gripe I have here is with the heart disease thing. And so, you know, that was their attack on me. I don't know if you want to really call it an attack on me. I feel like they went, you know, not too hard. They obviously deleted them saying, unless I'm somehow just missing it right here, I believe it was right here. They deleted, and there's a gap here. I don't know if that was there before. They deleted them saying that I was not civil and that I was disrespectful. And again, I completely disagree with that. And so my final point was that, you know, basically, why didn't you address any of my other concerns, like the early first period, the autoimmune diseases, the bioaccumulated toxins from the EPA quote that I gave, the lower sperm quality, and so on. And again, those prostate connections are huge. The majority of the studies, I think they were trying to say at one point that I was trying to make it seem like the majority of studies were supporting that dairy causes cancer. Again, to clarify, I'm not saying that they cause, if you look at all the studies, that there's a total increased risk of all cancers all the time. It's that prostate cancer is a major concern. We're looking at, again, 50% of those meta-analyses, including the ones that are industry funded. If we knock out the industry funded ones, we're definitely going to see the majority of them. Okay, now I think I'm just going to, they deleted it all. Did they really delete it all? I can't see it, but apparently they did. And I'm just going to copy and paste into the comment here just for future reference what they said originally here. Okay, just so this is like for the record, because I feel like I made an entire video. I made an entire video about this one statement, and then it makes it look like I'm making it up, and I'm not. So I'm going to post it right here, and then I want to answer just a few questions because I don't want to be too repetitive. I feel like I've already repeated myself in this video. And so hit me with a few questions. I'll maybe go like 8 more minutes. If you're one of those people who's like, I'm only interested in super fast-paced content, now's probably your time to, you know, to leave. I'm just kidding. Now you're interested. No. Okay, so answering a few questions. Hello, Foot Soldier. Hello, everybody. Reginald Finley. Okay, does anybody have any questions? I feel like people are just being pretty chill. Prostate will deteriorate. Yes. So the osteoporosis one, I think, is another point I wanted to mention because they did a whole section on that. I figured I'm just not even going to worry about it because I've got so much going on here. It's funny because they're always like, you only support pro-vegan statements or whatever. And the idea is, I've made a whole video on the myths that vegans spread. And one of them, I believe that is not proven, is that dairy is acidic and therefore leaches calcium from your bones. I do not think that is proven. I think the association between dairy consumption and fracture risk is more likely due to how saturated fat clogs your arteries and arteries feed your bones. So it makes sense. It is Mike. It is not Mick. Ethicist or environmentalist? I'm not an ethicist. I do not believe that we should prevent people from being born, if that's a fair estimate or a fair nutshell of that, a fair Kurzgesagt of that. Oh man, apparently vegan gains live at the same time. Yeah, post a screenshot to make things clear. I missed their first deletion. I didn't screenshot, I just copy and pasted the original one, so kind of have to take my word for it. Hello people, hi from the UK. I started reading, yes, I read your dumb joke. I will also say, in terms of Kurzgesagt sort of notion, I don't think that they were here to be like, oh, let's, I don't think they're industry funded. I don't think it goes beyond just maybe their personal or cultural views of dairy. And I'm going to just say it's a bias. We all have biases. And so they're from Germany. Not to say that all Germans are automatically supporting dairy, but it's very positively viewed in the German culture. It's a big part of their history, and so it makes sense why they might have a little bit more of a positive view of dairy. And so, or just personally, they probably consume it, and so they didn't want to make a video that was gonna conclude that people should stop eating dairy, but they wanted to appear neutral as well, I'm sure, as most people do, and so they included negative points. And maybe they did. Maybe they wanted to look at the health impacts, but they came to a conclusion that I don't agree with. So I can't tell. Screenshot was in my community post as proof of the original comment. Did they actually legit delete the comment? Did they see? Are they watching this live stream right now? I'm not going to do my German accent again.
Hey, it's Mike here.
I will say they have beautiful animations. If somebody does 3D animation, oh wow, they did delete. Oh, you know what? They might have not deleted it. They might have edited it, and then it might have got unpinned again. So please, if somebody wants to scan through the 1100 comments, Control F nutshell would probably find it. Literally so many comments. It's so hard. Like, they're just loading on here, and I have to keep scrolling down. It's hard. You're looking skinny, Mike. Always. Hey, by the way, I weigh 20 pounds more than I ever did as somebody who wasn't vegan. Getting stronger. I was curling 40s the other day. So I know I'm kind of taller and look, I don't know, maybe I look skinny. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine to be skinny. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, it looks like they deleted it. It goes all the way to the bottom when they edited it last time. So yeah, this is probably boring watching me just scroll through this. So I'm going to answer 1 or 2 more questions and then call it. 4 more minutes we'll end right at 5. We'll do more scrolling. It'll load some more. Okay. So I'm going to answer some more questions. Hi from Belarus. It's so cool where everybody is from. It's pretty awesome. Quit lying, there are no vegans. No, there's a lot of you. I've actually been to Germany quite a few times, and there's a ton of vegan options, which are pretty awesome. And I have nothing. I've ever made the German accent and talking about them being German. I have nothing against Germany. I actually had a German foreign exchange student girlfriend in high school, and again, I've been there several times and love Germany. Okay, I'm answering like 2 more questions. Sounds like you guys are just kind of having just a conversation here. Yeah, a lot of people from Germany here, which is pretty awesome. And yes, thoughts on eating alkaline based. This is getting a little off topic, which is fine. I think alkaline generally just means higher whole plant food, which is good. I think getting too crazy about alkaline, like drinking alkaline water, can mess with your potentially mess with the acidity of your stomach, as I went through in my raw Vana video, who is no longer raw Vana. Vegan prostates are the fountain of youth. That's pretty funny. Okay. My question is, can you say, hey Wayne, how's it going? Cool. With vegans in Japan. Okay, so I'm gonna give one more. Sometimes I quickly scan things. I don't know if they're jokes or not. I'm sorry. I don't know all of your personalities. So I'm gonna keep scrolling down to the end, see if we have anything here. Yeah, they officially, nope, it's still going. I'm so happy that you guys comment this much, but yeah, it looks like they deleted it. They're probably watching it right now. I mean, it's interesting. It's a team of people. I don't know who decides who to comment and not comment. And, I'm not trying to make them look super bad here. I'm just trying to, respond to what their claims were and how I disagreed with them. Wow, it literally is gone. I can't even, thankfully, I think I saved their entire thing. It doesn't matter. I think you guys got the gist of it. Here was their initial comment. I don't even know if I can post this here, but I will, just so that you guys I think actually there's a limit on the length of comment here. I am 30. Oh, it's way too long. 3,800 out of 200 characters. Oh, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Nothing. I don't know. Do you like food? Can't post links. Oh, sorry, you can't post links. Yeah, that would just open up to a hellscape of people posting links to things. I sat on these headphones and they're killing me. I tried gluing them back together and taping them, but it didn't work. Why would they have deleted their comment if they don't have anything to hide? So my guess is that because I'm doing this video, maybe it was attracting too much attention. I mean, they are like a team of people that has 10 million subscribers. They probably just didn't want to be involved in this. I don't know. They probably were like, he's doing a live stream about it. I normally don't live stream on about stuff like this. I just figured, why not? I want to just like cover my point, but I don't feel like doing a full video about it because I don't think it needs one. Yeah, I could put it up on my Discord right now. By the way, if anybody is not in the Discord, they're welcome to join the Discord. If anybody from the Discord can please, oh, you can't share a link. I'm the only one that can share a link. So I need to open Discord right now. And hopefully it's not like picking up a reflection of me typing in my password somewhere. Oh man, and yes, I have a new computer. It says activate Windows, which is probably very annoying. I'm going to invite people with a new invite link. Why can't I find, oh gosh, this is so annoying. Discord, okay. I don't even know how to invite people anymore. Apparently somebody changed my invite. Anyway, go to my Discord where I'm posting this right now. Fun stuff, cool. So I definitely think this is dramatically, it's too long for a Discord post. It's dramatic. This live stream is dramatically lowering in quality, so that's okay. It's okay, you know, and now more people are watching than when it was actually good. So we're getting into a lot of other questions here. I'm just going to consider the topic of this whole Kurzgesagt thing kind of done. I think I've answered all the questions, and why not? We got some questions here. We can go 10 more minutes. I don't think it's not gonna kill anyone. Yes, there is a Discord server. It's called Mike the Vegan, and I haven't been on there in a while, sadly, because I've been so busy. But you can check out Mike the Vegan too for some of the panels that I've posted in there. And okay, am I coming to your birthday party? Wish I could. Dairy has mammalian estrogen. Yes, I talk about that a lot in the video. It's funny, they didn't refute any of my estrogen claims. I mean, I guess they didn't really refute any of my claims in particular. I love how I just said that the Kurzgesagt part is over. But they didn't refute any of my direct claims in general, other than just like my claims about, you know, them using industry-funded studies, my using of industry-funded studies, and so forth. So, you know, it is what it is. User management. So I'm going into my Discord right now, which I'm actually very bad at managing, and trying to see why I can't invite people, but I can't. Let's just say when this is done posting, I'll worry about it later. I'll just show, oh, somebody is pretty awesome, and they posted the initial, not the original comment, because they actually changed it, but this is the edited version, yes, that they posted. Copy link. I can post, I believe, this link into the live stream directly if anybody wants to look at it. There you go. I can post links. Sorry, nobody else can. Discord is sort of like, you know what Slack is. People can talk and text and voice channels. And I have one in there, a Discord that hopefully has some good discussions in there. It can kind of get a little crazy when not many people are looking at. Duckweed. No, watch my Duckweed video. Come on, guys, get up to date. You gotta watch my Duckweed video. And Duckweed, quick update on Duckweed. So obviously there was some sort of concern about whether or not I look crazy with my hair. Sort of concern about whether or not there were B12 analogs and in the duckweed that would prevent it from actually being absorbed as true B12, because there is true B12 in there. And it's adenosylcobalamin, methylcobalamin, and I believe a little bit of hydroxylcobalamin. Anyway, so from, at least I'm hearing from inside sources, that they did not find any analogs, any meaningful amount of analogs. So it's a very good chance that when it is raising B12 status, it's also lowering methylmalonic acid status and things like that. But we need to study. I will say that we do need to study. Kurzgesagt should apologize if they want to retract that comment. It's hard to say why they retracted it, if it was more of just like maybe their team was like, hey, let's not be involved in this, as opposed to, I mean, maybe they were. I don't think they had anything in their comment that they were trying to hide, other than that they just mathematically got wrong how many industry funded studies they had, because they were at least slightly wrong in the total. But in terms of, I guess they didn't make a claim about the actual particular industry funded studies in cardiovascular disease, 100% of which were at least connected to industry, 75% which were actually directly funded by industry, which is fun. Yeah, fun stuff. Okay, do plant-based mills have a place in vegan diet? No idea what that means. Does red palm oil have a positive antioxidant potential? I would stay away from all palm oil. It's actually decently high saturated fat. As you know, I don't support the consumption of oil in any, meaningful, at least I don't deny that oil is unhealthy. Obviously, I've talked about before, you choose the amount of oil that you eat. Oh, you got my password now? I'm screwed. It's over for me. It's going to be Molson Muscles Discord now. Oh, man. Yeah, the prostate thing is interesting. They did, as I talked about in there, they did mention in one of the meta-analyses the potential mechanism for that and the hormones and the IGF-1. And so I'm curious to see, I really want the WHO to do a just full analysis like they did on red and processed meat. And I do believe that there's almost as much of a sort of well-outlined research-based connection between processed meat and cancer and colon cancer as there is between prostate cancer and milk. Oh, did I ever respond to what I learned? So what I've learned did a sort of similar thing where he responded to my video in text on his Patreon. And I just, honestly, I wrote a response to that. And I just decided that it was just too obscure and nitpicky of a video. I might post it somewhere. It's just like getting really annoying. It's just like getting into so much details on details. And nobody really saw his response. And so if it ever comes back up again, people are like, I really want that, then I will. You guys are making me so paranoid. I feel like I need to change my password, even though I know there's no way that you saw it. Oh, man. My TV's not that reflective, and my mirror, somebody would have, okay, I'm blocking my mirror, and it would have to be like 40,000p for anybody to see me type my password, and it's behind me, so I think I'm okay. Okay, I'm gonna take just like a couple more questions. Why is my beard turning red? It happened to me too. I don't know why. Actually, it's funny. I grew up most of my life not knowing that I had a red beard because I always shaved it because it wasn't that thick. And then finally got thicker when I went vegan because my testosterone went up. I'm kidding. I don't know. I was just getting older. Get a VPN. Yeah, probably a good idea. Humane Hancock. I need to look at Humane Hancock's argument on wild animal suffering. My idea is I think it's insane to try and eliminate wild animal suffering, but I think there's things that people like. Why not take, take steps to reduce wild animal suffering if it's possible and doesn't intervene like too much. Let's just revisit that when animal agriculture is no longer so horrible. Oh, shall we all post their comment on Kurzgesagt's video? You're free to do whatever you want. I would just say please don't harass them. I think part of the reason that they were sort of passively very triggered is because there is a lot of very negative comments about them in my comment section. So if you do comment on a video, please be civil. Please be civil, because apparently I'm not civil. Which people, again, who weren't here, they said that I was not civil or respectful, which I just think is funny. Because I viewed myself as being so respectful, and I even emailed them back being like, is this just like a cultural thing? Do I just come off as more disrespectful than I actually am trying to be? Maybe it's my fault. And who knows? Okay. There are hackers who know your password just by listening. I don't believe that. Yeah, I told you once I post this, I'm gonna get the Discord link up. I just can't, like right now. It's for some reason I can't share it, and it's annoying. See if the Discord works under. Just go Mike the Vegan 2 in YouTube in another tab and look in the description under it, and there should be a lot. Yes, passively triggered. It's also interesting of like this idea of like being respectful or not. I mean, it's fine if somebody's not being respectful to like a healthy degree. Like you shouldn't be respectful of a child predator, for example. And I'm not equating that. I'm just saying that a little lack of respect, which I don't think I was being respectful, doesn't mean the person's automatically wrong or anything like that as well. I'd like to know your thoughts on health effects of fish consumption. My mother saw a guy on TV eat raw fish, and now she thinks it's super healthy. Raw fish is not a good idea. You should look Chubby Emu's video on like I ate gas sushi, like he ate gas station sushi and this happened to his stomach or something. I think I love Chubby Emu. Of course, it all connects back to zoonotic or animal-based diseases. According to you guys, I was civil and respectful. That's all I needed to know. No, I was trying to be too, especially because they commented in the last video, under my last video, because I did a response to their meat video a while back. And I don't know. I just, I felt like this time around I would try to be even extra non-triggering to them and trying to point out every time they made a good comment, which I thought was legitimately good. And unfortunately, you can't see it in the reflection of my eyes. No way. Can't see my password in the reflection of my eyes. Anyway, so like every positive comment, I was like trying to be encouraging to them, but I guess the fact that I disagreed with them at all was enough for them to just be like, hey, this is your crap. No, they weren't really mean, I would say. They were just like a little agitated, for sure. Do plant-based milks have a place in a healthy vegan diet? I'm vegan, but I don't drink plant-based milk that much. I would say, I don't see why not. It also depends on how like there's a whole spectrum from not as processed to super processed plant-based milks that are loaded with sugar. I tend to just be like stay away from the ones with refined sugar. Honestly, they can be great. They can be great if you're not getting things like B12 or vitamin D. A lot of them have that. Tone policing, yes, but apparently tone policing itself is tone policing to say that someone's tone policing. So to get a little meta there, Traeger, yeah. My password is I love carnivores 1 2 3 4. That's a good joke. I appreciate that joke. I'm not. Yeah, I know no one has it. I'm just joking about it at this point. I just don't know. If you see what I see on my end, there's like a bunch of crap going on, and the live streaming process is so difficult on like so annoying on YouTube, especially using OBS where I have like, for example, I can shift all these screens and stuff where like I might have some angle that I didn't realize I had or something. Okay. Any advice on arsenic in brown rice? Get brown rice from California, like Lundberg rice, is super low. It even passes like the baby standards. My password is I love Kurzgesagt 69. I'm loving the password memes. Why do you have Dr. Avi on as he promotes organic as carnist, a harmful ideology for human health and the environment? I don't mind having people on with views that I disagree with. I think Avi is great on a lot of other topics. I don't agree with him on that topic, and I've never really talked to him about it. But yeah, maybe sometime we can talk about it. Nobody cares about your password. I don't care about password. I'm done with the password. I'm done. But now I think these are funny fake passwords for me. They are funny. And so I'm happy I was still talking about it. Where did I get these doors? The Scandinavian. No, they're just normal doors. Okay, I'm calling it in 2 minutes, okay, guys? Because I know that this is getting boring for a lot of people. You lift, bro. I actually have not been lifting the last few weeks since I've been getting more busy. The tiny house is almost done, and I'm really cranking on that, among other things. And I was lifting more and gaining weight and strength. And someone asked earlier if I was doing those 40. I can do full sets of 8 with 35, but I can't do. That's a cello. But I can only do a few reps with 40s. Like I probably do like 3 sets of 4. The S in Kurzgesagt is soft for a reason. Kurz, I don't know. I don't know German. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Interview Dr. Mike. He probably would not want me to interview. Like I made the video, Dr. Mike, for those of you who don't know, very popular doctor with a YouTube channel. I made a response video to his meat video where he was very pro meat. It was sponsored by, was it the Pork Board or the sponsored by, I believe, the Pork Board. And he actually took that video down, even though I responded to it. Your hair is turning gray. No, it's getting dark, so I'm probably starting to look super blown out. So have you guys noticed the 1 hour vegan deterioration that I had since it got dark and the contrast went up? That's so funny. Now it's all artificial lighting. Oh man, my hair is not turning gray. Anyway, whatever. Enough of those trolls. Can't listen to them. Anyway, Dr. Mike would probably not want to debate me after me. It seems like even if you just make a video that criticizes somebody's viewpoints, they don't really want to talk to you that much again. Some people do. Some people are like, yeah, let's do this. Other people are like, you are not respectful or civil. Maybe he would. It's also, he's just that big of, Dr. Mike's that big of a channel. It's like, he probably wouldn't want to waste his time on it at all. The tiny house is 24 feet long, 26 feet long, actually, if you count the overhang. I love these passwords, Oil Bay. Okay, cool. Yes, it was the Pork Board. I think that we should probably wrap it up now because I'm so done talking. Thank you guys, by the way, for these super chats or whatever. I need to like figure out who did those and thank them really quickly because I saw a $10 one when I was rambling and I didn't get to thank them, but super thanks to the person who gave me the $10 one, which apparently thank you, Stephen Anthony. So I can't even scroll back far enough to see the $10 one. So thank you so much. Plant estrogen compared to mammalian estrogen. So from my understanding, I don't like talking without the sources right there, as you probably know, but the phytoestrogens in soy are not real mammalian estrogens, and they're very weak, and they can actually sit in the estrogen receptor and sort of prevent mammalian estrogens from overdoing their estrogen influence. They can sort of balance or buffer that. At least, soy consumption is associated with lower breast cancer, and I've talked about it in videos before. Thank you so much, Alex Doe. I don't even know what 5-BYN is, but I appreciate it. Please comment on AGA's more fuel for the food/feed debate in their graph. I don't know. Am I supposed to know who AGA is? Okay, more fuel. Okay, I'm looking at it right now. I'm giving this like 1 minute because this is very tangential. Oh, this is like the animal people. Okay, more fuel. I don't even know where the graph is. I'm sorry you can't link it. But you can email me, mike@mikethevegan.com for that graph, and I will email you back an answer because you are a generous person. Thank you. Okay. My view on organic versus conventional, I'm going to do a whole video on this, so you're going to have to stay tuned. Mike was originally I was not originally vegan for the environment. I was originally vegan for my health, but I have a sustainability background, and so that was a huge part of it. And yes. Okay, cool. So I think we're going to wrap it up right now. I really appreciate you guys watching. And if you're interested in the Kurzgesagt video, sorry for butchering their name for the 1000th time. I'm going to post this and you can just watch the first 20 minutes where I talk about everything and their response and their original comment. Why not? I'll leave it up. And even though this is super chaotic live stream in terms of just how many flubs of me reading and stuff there were and just how much reading there was in general, I'm still going to post. Thank you so much, Cassandra Bankson, for that. Dala, thanks for helping my mom go fully vegan last year. Awesome. Did you notice any improvements in her health? I've had some crazy anecdotal improvements from people's parents lately going vegan that I've heard about, which I'll probably not share because they're too good to get people's hopes up too much. Okay. Have a great day. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, Carlston. It's good to see you. I'm going to try and remember to post that Discord link here. And yeah, in summary, let me just do a summary really quickly, just for people who weren't watching. So Kurzgesagt's comment that they did, again, they edited out the most critical part of me. That was that I was disrespectful and that I was not civil. And then they deleted it. But before that, the main thing that bothered me about it was that they were claiming that they were not using very much industry-funded studies. And the reality is that 75% of their cardiovascular disease-related studies were industry-funded, which I believe is unacceptable. And 100% of them were either industry-funded or had an industry connection in terms of previous funding directly disclosed in the study. So definitely not good. All the other points, like I still stand by all of my prostate points and everything. So, all right, thanks so much for watching. I'm gonna post this and see you in the next one. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Goodbye.